We're here at Fight Sports Center with head coach Brendon Katz. Brendon, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So most people know you as a fighter as opposed to a coach, but give us a bit of that background of how your fight journey started.
So I started with Krav Maga about 20 years ago, maybe more, when it was still in its early days. And then from there, I found a love for competition. So I got into MMA with Neil Diesel, worked with Diesel for many years. Moved from there, I sort of moved from gym to gym to gym, looking for the right place to go. Spent many years with Nick Durant. I stayed with Nick because, he's one of the greatest trainers ever, anywhere in the world. And, the stuff I learned from him, both from, for my own athletic benefit and also as a coach, that's sort of I could see why he produced world-class fighters. And then from there, I sort of went on a quest to find, the very best coaches, guys who are on that level. And guys like Rodney King are there, guys like Shuai Meng Liu, who's in Ravonia there. Those guys are on that level. They know how to do it. And they know how to do it right, and I had to work at the same time as fighting because fighting just didn't pay enough. And so I had to work as a trainer and whatever. And, the gym kept growing and growing and growing. And, I started training guys about 6 years ago now. Since then, we've moved 5 times because we just kept running out of space. And as it turns out, the most recent move, we saw Nick's old gym in here in Norwood was available. So, I moved in here, with Nick's blessing. And, things have just gone from there.
Tell us your journey from amateur fighter into the pro ranks. How did you make that decision? What was the journey like for you?
So you remember this is the good old days, where there was no sort of accreditation, nothing necessary. So the first few fights I had were like parking lots, basements. I fought twice in one night. My last 2 fights as an amateur, I fought twice in one night, won both fights, and then after that went pro. Fought for Brad Bloch once or twice. That was probably like the early 2000s. Moved on from there to the EFC. From the EFC, I went overseas, competed twice. Was lined up for title fights, but they fell through either because of my illness or because the other guy got injured. And then went back to the EFC and finished up my career there.
And obviously, you've been around for quite some time. You've seen the progression of the sport from, as you say, the good old days to where it is now. For guys that haven't been around and in the sport for that long, tell them what the difference is like from those days where parking lots, 2 fights in a night, those kind of things, to where it is today.
Yeah, look, the first fight I had, we had no change room. We sort of went down the stairs to warm up. It came out, the rules changed as you get in the ring. You don't know who you're going to fight, you know what I mean? You just show up, you're going to fight. You just don't know who, you don't know the weight class. First pro fight I had, as I said, was for Brad Bloch. It was either at 70 or 77. And he assured me that my opponent had made weight. Turned out I fought Renier Foss, who has fought guys like Lance Aronio. He's a heavyweight, you know what I mean? And, so that's how things work. You never knew what was going to happen except that you were going to fight. We used to fight in rings. We used to fight at small events. The quality of production that the EFC puts on is literally world class. You know what I mean? It's literally world class. It's up there with the UFC and Bellator. And so things have come a long way. Also the quality of the athletes. You get guys now who are doing it full time, who have the backing they need to do it. So it's really, South African MMA is on a good level, especially the guys at the top.
A lot of guys in South Africa knew Nick, but a lot of people outside of South Africa might not have known him, especially in MMA fans not knowing the boxing space so well. But Nick was obviously a world champion, trained a lot of world champion boxers, but you had a very close bond with him as well. So give us a bit of background on that relationship and how that grew over the years.
Well, what I'll tell you is that Nick knew how to motivate me. He understood people very well. He, like you said, he could motivate a guy to walk through a brick wall. You know what I mean? He was world class. Guys overseas, he's actually more respected and more well known overseas than he is here. Every time I opened a magazine in the UK, boxing and MMA are sort of in the same magazines there. So every time I'd open a magazine there, there'd be something about Nick Durant. Nick says this, Nick says that. There's an article on one of Nick's fighters. It's constantly in the public eye. As far as sort of the development of MMA goes, a couple of years back, when guys like Rory McDonald appeared on the scene, guys were talking about how he's the new generation, he's a hybrid fighter, and theoretically that makes sense, right? He'll just be good at everything, and it'll be like boxing and wrestling and Muay Thai and jits. And what's actually happened, looking back from now to then, is that it's not about like this hybrid fighter that you can't see a style. For the most part, you can very clearly see guys who come from a karate background, from a taekwondo background, from a boxing background. And not only that, it's not only guys who who actually come from those backgrounds. It's guys who develop into that style. It just suits them. It suits their personality, suits the way they fight. You know, guys like Yair Rodriguez, guys like Edson Barboza. I mean, that's some sort of variation of Taekwondo or something like that. Kicking-based art. You know, then you got guys like Stephen Thompson and Michael Page. You know, that's clearly a karate-based style. Yeah. You know, guys like Kevin Gastelum, like who's that other oak, also a very, very good boxer. Guys like Francis Ngannou. I mean, what he does is he uses good boxing essentially to knock guys out, but he's not a boxer. He's never been a boxer. It just suits his style and it suits what he does. You know what I'm? So yeah. So you're starting to see guys who are sort of. It's not like MMA is this all-encompassing thing. You know, everybody's balanced, but everyone has their one thing that they're good at. You know, and it's important that fighters start to realize this and start to emphasize their strengths and force games into their strengths.
Yeah, a lot of the time ego forces them to go into their opponent's strengths instead of their own.
Yeah, and when you have a guy like Penna, who's an exceptional wrestler, he's phenomenally strong, and now, you know, everyone's like, oh, Penna's a wrestler, he's going to take you down, and now he just stood and really beat up Ishad Sayed on the feet. What do you do with that guy? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, having that sort of ace in the hole is an important thing too. You know, so if you've got two things that you're really good at, show one of them all the time. Don't be egotistical about it, and whip the other one out when you need it. 100%. You know? Yeah.
And now obviously you've moved into Nick's old gym, so that must be quite nostalgic for you as well, walking in here every day.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, man. I walk into Nick's office every day, you know. Damien, Nick's son, comes in, I get up and he sits down in the office, you know what I'm saying?
So for those that want more information on the gyms, give them a bit of background on where the gym is, what you guys offer.
Website's fightsportscenter.com. We offer everything, man. Everything's sort of built around what you need to produce a good fighter, which is always the intention. So obviously we have MMA classes. Nick Duran's last champion, Sander Komanisi, he's here with us. He's a boxing trainer. We have this guy in the background here, he's just an exceptional pad man. You know, he works with a couple of world champs, a couple of up-and-comers, professional fighters, and he's really good with the boxing. We got a former SA champ, you know, coaching the Muay Thai. He represented South Africa for Muay Thai, so the Muay Thai is really good. Kazi Mulo Zulu's here. He runs the grappling classes. He's wrestling. What else do we do? We got yoga. We got fitness classes. You know, we have a qualified sports scientist running the fitness classes. It's not, and he's got his honors and has competed in MMA. So it's not something random dude is like, yeah, let's get you fit. I read something on the internet. This guy knows you know, can't swear. Get used to it. Yeah, and then we offer yoga as well. Very nice for recovery, all of that sort of stuff.
And if guys want to come down to the gym, where can they get hold of you?
Go to Fight Sports Center, fill in the contact form, send it off to me. I'll get hold of you. You get a week free trial, so everybody's welcome. Just, you know, don't be a dickhead. It's not going to end well, but everybody's welcome. And there's a nice vibe in the gym. Everybody's lacquer. You know what I mean? There's no egos. There's no nonsense. You know, everyone watches out for everyone.
Well, there you have it, guys. Get down to Fight Sports Center, get yourself fit, and get.